Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Marta. I come from Norway and I love makeup. And today I'm super excited to be doing my first look with my new palette that I got from Made by Mitchell. I got the Feet on the Ground palette, which just looks so gorgeous. It has a lot of beautiful green tones and it has a couple berry tones, some yellows, this lime green, which is really light and beautiful. I just feel so inspired looking at this palette. I just have so many ideas for looks to do with this palette, so I brought it with me for a little holiday vacation. So I'm probably going to use this quite a bit. But for today I just wanted to do a first impression look using this palette, and I also ended up using my new eye base that I got from BeautyBay. So I used that on my right eye, so I think that will be your left. And I used that in the shade, it's called Base 2 I think, so that is the lightest one except from the white. And I also picked up the Blursh from Made by Mitchell in the shade Mango Daiquiri, which is really like orangey and bright. So I used all of these products, and I guess we can just go straight into it. So for today's look I want to go in with the teal and the mustard, so I'm starting with the teal with my Kaleidos Makeup S3 brush. So I'm actually trying a different primer today. So on this eye I have my BeautyBay primer, but on the other eye I have the regular NARS primer that I usually use, just to make sure that if the shadows don't perform, it's not the primer. Honestly, it's looking really great this far. It looks so pigmented and it blends so nicely. So I'm just going to put some translucent powder here just to make sure I don't go any further up, and then I'll put the mustard here. So I'll just use a brush that is a tiny bit smaller for the mustard shade. And you know what? I'm actually using the first shade in the palette that's called Salt Bay, because they have a quite like neutral skin tone color, at least for me. So I'm just using that right here. And now I'm just dipping into the mustard, and I'm just not going to blend them very much together. I'm mostly just tapping them together. So I'm seeing that the moisture here is making this shadow look a little bit weird, but I think it's going to look nice in the end, I hope. So I'm just applying a little bit more of the shadow, and of course I'm going to use some shimmer all over the lid. Now I'm just taking a flat brush and dipping into the shade Fool's Gold, and I did add glitter glue all over my lid, but just a thin layer. And here you can also see like both of the sides, so I feel like the shadows perform just as good with both primers. Obviously it looks a little bit patchy now because of the glitter glue. So I feel like the shimmer is looking a little bit flat, but I just used my finger and applied it to get a more foiled effect on that eye, and it really worked. So I was just going to show you on this eye. So I do feel like that makes the shimmer look a little bit better. But all in all, I do like how this is looking this far. I just remembered that I also bought the Made by Mitchell liquid blusher in the shade Mango Daiquiri, which is this orange, which I think might go nice with this look. I have not used it before. Looks like this. I'm really curious about this. I usually use powder blushes, so if this doesn't perform well on me, that's why. But I just did my foundation. I have not done my concealer yet, but I'm just going to start with this amount. So I'm just trying to tap it out with my sponge. I feel like it looks really weird on the monitor, but in real life it looks kind of nice. It actually is almost the same color as the one I'm using for my eyes, the shade Clay Baby. I'm just applying a little bit more just because I'm going in with my concealer afterwards, and I'm also going to use bronzer and contour powder, and I'm going to set my face, so it's probably going to disappear a little bit, so I don't really mind if it's looking a little bit crazy right now, because I can just fix that. I also have a powder that is like a foundation powder, so if it really looks bad I can just use that to cover up most of this. So as you can see, I finished off the blush, but I feel like it's way too yellow toned, So I think I might just go in with, I'm going to try a little bit with this one. It's actually an eyeshadow from Pastel Roses UK. It's in the shade Tangerine and it's really pigmented, so I have to be a little bit careful. I might also add a little bit of this one just to add some of that more pinkish, more normal blush tone. This is Nectarine by Nabla. So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of Tangerine first. Now I'm just taking a bit of Tangerine and then really going into the shade Nectarine, just because I want that warmth back in the blush. Hopefully that can make this look a little bit more wearable. So I definitely feel like the color looks a lot better now. I feel like it looks a little bit off on the monitor, so I will have to see if I need to adjust that when editing, but it looks a lot better now. It's just that it's really dark. So I am going to go over it with my Hello Pretty foundation. That's like a powder, so I'm just going to tap that all out with a small little fluffy thing like this. As you can see, this is my skin tone, so I'm just going to like even it out and hopefully take away a little bit of that pigmentation, so this won't look too crazy. So that little amount of powder helped so much, and this looks so much better now. It's actually wearable, so I'm really liking how it's looking right now. But the blush itself, it has way too much yellow in it. Like now it looks more like the color it actually is in the bottle right here, but I do think it's a really cool thing to use. And if you get another color, like one of the more pinky toned ones, I think it would look really good if you mix them together. So I just did the same thing on the lower lash line that I did on the top here. And I'm just going to use the shade Bless You, which is the one in the top right corner of the palette for the inner corner, and I just added some glitter glue to make it adhere there. So that's basically it. So I'm just going to add some black liner to tightline my upper lash line and something in the waterline and mascara and some highlight, and I'll be back to show you the finished look. So that is how my finished look turned out. I ended up using my Guerlain lip pencil in the shade Burnt Chocolate, and I also used my Proper Beauty lipstick in the shade Made It, which I just love, and I felt like it was perfect for this look. And for my highlighter, I used Gold Digger by Kristen Leigh Cosmetics, which is a yellow to white duochrome, and I just felt like that was really fitting to the mustard yellow tones on my eye. And all in all, I just have to say that I'm really impressed by how this palette performed. It was so good. The mattes are super pigmented, they blended so nicely, and the shimmers aren't like super special, but they are like maybe a little bit more sparkly than normal palettes, but they're not like special like Tammy Tanuka, for example, or Glam Shop shadows. But they're certainly something I could see myself using. If I just want to use this palette, I would be fine using these shimmers. So yeah, I'm really happy that I ended up getting this palette, and I can't wait to do more looks with it because it has just so many beautiful colors right here. So I'm really excited about that. Also, I feel really impressed by this BeautyBay eye primer base. I felt like it was really like, it was kind of wet to begin with, but then it dried down and the shadows applied really pigmented, but I don't feel like there was like a big difference between my NARS primer and the BeautyBay one, which is great because I'm looking for a cruelty-free option. So here I have that, and it's really huge. It has a lot of products. It is 15 milliliters of product, which is quite a lot for an eye primer, so this is probably going to last me for a long time. As for the Blursh, I feel like it applied really nicely, but the color was just way too yellow. But I feel like it is a really nice base for a blush if you want to use something that is more orangey toned, because using it with some other powder blushes, it looks really nice, I feel like, and it gives that orangey tone for sure. So if you don't have a lot of orange blushes and you just want that orange tone to it, then you could definitely just use this as a blush base and then just use whatever you want on top of it. So I would definitely be interested in trying some more of their colors, because I feel like you could mix this with some of the other blushes and then you could have a really nice color, but alone I would not use this. But I guess that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video. So if you did, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!